dynamics in the earlier stages of the Russian invasion, but in terms of volume and velocity, it was the United States that was playing the most critical early role. Over the course of 2022, the US passed a number of Ukraine aid packages. Those packages were meant to carry the US effort through to the end of the 2023 financial year, 30 September 2023. And on August 10, 2023, ahead of that deadline, the White House sent a request for additional Ukraine funding for Capitol Hill. That package, and a number of proposals that followed it, didn't go anywhere fast. There would be diplomatic efforts, of course, to try and smooth the path to further aid through the US Congress, but through most of late 2023 and early 2024, Ukrainian and European diplomatic efforts generally met with the diplomatic equivalent either of being left on red or an automated message back to Ukraine. Please leave your name, number, email, and the details of the valuable resources to your national boundaries, and get back to you in the next 12 months. And so having taken an early lead in aid provisions in Ukraine, the US figures started to stagnate. Now, I don't want to focus too much in this episode on the nature of the US political system, but when talking about why aid to Ukraine or the Asia Pacific got held up in the Congress, it's impossible not to talk about something that happened. From a system design perspective, it's all about the way the US Congress and political system function. By global standards, tends to weigh pretty far towards emphasizing checks and balances over efficiency. It's often relatively hard to do things quickly, and very easy for individuals or small groups to slow things down. The filibuster, for example, doesn't uniformly exist across all representative democracies the way it does in the United States. In theory, that's the sort of system you might design if you want to emphasize strategic cooperation, and the practice of good faith negotiation and compromise both within the legislature and between the branches of government. The problem comes when you take a system to design with compromise and bipartisanship in mind and throw it into the context of a political culture that's only slightly less polarized than your average Croatia circus soccer match. It was always strongly suspected and recently confirmed by the final vote that Ukraine has always had a strong majority in both houses of Congress. It gained that number reduced by about 3 to 1 in the House and 4 to 1 in the Senate. In a lot of political systems, that has alone would have been enough to push aid past the line to fair preference. But the US political system is such that even if the Senate passed a comprehensive aid package, relatively similar to what also ended up passing in the House, the House was able to effectively put the bill in the law and put the vote on it and wait for negotiations to play out. Many of them were just down to the Republican Party itself before Johnson reached a decision on how and when to bring the various foreign aid proposals to vote. While the US political system was debating with itself internally, aid to Ukraine started to dry up, even though Russian tax very much didn't. The issue that towards Ukraine was essentially magnified by the fact that throughout the period, many US and allied voices remained adamant that US aid was on the way. Many other countries may not have rushed to put in place the sort of contingencies they may have, if they know in late 2023 just how long the delay would end up being. We arguably didn't see the results of this immediately, but over time we started to see critical gaps emerge in key capability areas. Perhaps most importantly, Ukraine was running short on artillery shells and similar munitions to help it hold the front, and air defense systems and missiles to hold off the Russian Air Force and constant missile attacks. In the absence of new American aid, we saw a determined effort by some European states to try and fill the gap, at least partially. Germany, for example, announced it was providing a record €7 billion worth of military equipment in 2024. And at time of recording, the United Kingdom has just announced its largest military aid package in Ukraine since February 2022. The broad observation, though, is that while a lot of European states tried to rise to the challenge, when it came to weapons supplies, there were some things the US was just much better positioned to supply. Trying to address the critical artillery engines, Germany had to dig pretty deep. In March, Berlin announced that we'd be handing over another 10,000 155mm shells from Bundeswehr stock. And while that may only have been good for a couple of days' worth of consumption in Ukraine, with the German military, that was a pretty big ask. As Ukraine suffered supply and manpower constraints, Russia appears to have tried to keep up the pressure, and whatever the intention, by maintaining that pressure, Russia may have to an extent duplicated some of what Ukraine achieved in Kherson back in 2023, overstretching the logistics and combat power of the defending force to the point where the only two choices were a local rural or reaching the line slowly tracking. And the important point to make here is the evidence suggests that the impact of material shortages wasn't really clear. It wasn't just a simple math problem where Ukraine having 20% less ammo translated into 20% worse battlefield outcomes. In some cases, shortages may actually change the way the Russian military is able to fight. In a situation where the Ukrainians fight well against missiles, for example, Russia could do more aggressive things with its air-powered drones. In some cases, the Russian aircraft will be flying right up to Ukrainian positions. Live bombers sometimes will be stored close to the front line, and valuable long-range reconnaissance drones ranging far behind Ukrainian lines to hunt down valuable equipment. All of those things would likely be incredibly risky against a well-supplied opponent, but all of them likewise would logically allow the Russians to do more damage with the resources they have. In a sense, you could argue this was sort of the military equivalent of a game of red light, green light, where Russian forces could try and take risks and make advances when US aid wasn't looking, but whenever the Ukrainians could be watching through a Javelin blue or a Patriot operated station, a different, more conservative set of tactics and approaches might be applied. The same logic could also be applied to the Ukrainian side. Ukrainian units often complain, for example, that because they didn't get much ammunition, they don't take it to themselves. When you have Russian tanks that could be fended off with artillery due to shell shortages, often an increased burden of fighting off those attacks, and the tanks would fall on Ukrainian infantry. The thing here, though, is that the relative balance of supply that enables those sorts of dynamics to change over time. The slowdown in US aid was one of the main factors that gave us the very difficult situation the Ukrainians now face themselves. The question now, though, is with the aid bill finally passing and the first deliveries already occurring, to what extent are we about to see that supply gap narrow in potentially dramatic fashion? Okay, so let's actually have a look at what's in the US aid package, because while most of it is always basically what you'd expect, there's some interesting twists in there too. The Ukraine bill that was passed did so alongside a number of other US measures. These address various areas of US strategic interest, like the Middle East, Asia Pacific, and of course the clearly overwhelming security threats posed by the Russian military or TikTok. The Ukraine component of the overall consolidated aid bill had a total value